Now boarding for Rebuild of JoyCast, your weekly destination for anime, manga, and more.
Oh, JoyCast, what a wonderful podcast. Basically a One Piece podcast now. Val, I screwed up the scheduling. Golden Week actually hasn't happened yet.
Really?
It's actually coming up, so we've got all this free time. So we may as well just keep that One Piece discussion from last week going.
This boat ain't sinking yet!
But if we do want to do some quick updates, what's going on the manga front, it seems like all the mangaka got really smart this year and all scheduled their vacations before Golden Week to get a nice big long one, because things are like coming in and out weirdly. And basically when Golden Week's over, Golden Kamui is gonna be over.
Jeez.
Vigilantes is gonna be over.
As much as we say that we love Vigilantes, it's one of those things where it's like, it's been long overdue.
It's been long overdue.
I want to see Koichi rest. Right?
Interesting enough, though, Black Clover going on full-on hiatus for a minimum 3 months, they said, because the guy is preparing for the final arc. So they're losing another one. I mean, say what you will about Black Clover, it's been a mainstay for the magazine.
Yeah, it has. I was literally thinking about that the other day, and how I haven't heard anything about it for ages.
Because it's been going along strong, because the problem is that when it erupted, it was all bad word of mouth. So the fact that you're not hearing anything is a good thing. The fact that you're not hearing its cancellation, and the fact that it ran so long quietly, that's a jobber, so congrats.
I don't think... Black Clover is definitely at that point where it wasn't going to get cancelled, I feel.
Yeah, it's good. We make fun of it for being, the most shonen that ever shonen, but, I give that credit.
Fairy Tail and Naruto, there's some Berserk inspiration in there, but dude can't go quite that far because it's in Shonen Jump and not fucking Animal Magazine or whatever. What is
Young
it?
Animal.
Is it Young Beat? Yeah, Young Animal, which... kudos to that freaking magazine name.
Right? There's some good names out there.
There are.
But the mangaka himself was like, yo, I really didn't actually want to take the time off. This was actually the editors, so big props to the editors for looking out for the safety of their talent. But yeah, that's basically it. Things are just scatterbrained, so we're really not gonna be able to get on our regular conversations until mid-May is when things will get back in order. So until then, we're just we're in the middle of a golden month essentially, and we're gonna just talk about One Piece.
Hey, I do have a thought though. Speaking of Young Animal, we do a lot of shonen. We do too much shonen. The world does too much shonen.
Young Animal's also a shonen, dude.
I know, but it's a little bit more adult. I know for a fact that they at least put softcore porn in there.
Oh, good for you.
At least stuff like that. What I'm saying is though, what if we took a look at some Young Animal manga at some point?
Yeah, we could. We should just peek into the others. We kind of did that with weekly shonen when we looked into the that trash manga.
Yes.
And the finale of Fire
Force. That one that,
as
you said, is going very slowly.
Very slowly. I've dropped off of that. I've dropped off of Earthchild and Akane Banashi. But all props to them. I hope they all do well. Because there's some new ones coming, but I'm going to put a pin in that. That will be when we come back next.
I genuinely feel like I'm not done with Shonen Jump, but it's I've also dropped off Earthchild. I was reading it the other day, and I was like, yeah, this is alright, but something about it isn't really grabbing me right now. The first chapter did, I guess.
Yeah, it's now that it knows it's not getting canceled immediately, now it's kind of pumping the brakes a little bit and taking its time. As it deserves to. But that being said, not for me, but I hope it does well. I like it being there. But there's 2 new ones coming out. One I got a sneak peek at. Poisoner Marriage.
Poisoner Marriage?
This is from one of the assistants on Jujutsu Kaisen. So another one of those, hailed as the next big thing. And I read it, and like I said, we'll get to a more detailed discussion when it's actually out for everyone else. But right now, I'm actually torn. I'm 50-50 on it. part of me says, wow, visually hilarious. Love it. Looks good. But it's another one of those, we call them bitchless stories now. There's basically Isekai has had its run. Now we are now entering the new bitchless subgenre.
Maidenless.
Maidenless. I like that better for
Damn right. Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. Yeah. There's a new subgenre out now that's taking the world by storm. It's called bitchless or maidenless.
Yeah, maidenless. We call it maidenless.
So we will get into details about all these guys leaving and all these newbies coming in. Probably next week. But right now, let's get back to One Piece. Let's finish off where we left off last week. Where, between last week and this week, I watched Stampede.
What were your thoughts? I will tell you mine first. Bad story, in my opinion. Bad story. It was kind of shit in that it was just they tried to do one big fight. But I kind of didn't care. It was all fan service. That was nice. But there was no substance to it.
Those are your thoughts?
Those are my thoughts.
You're so wrong, Val. I can't believe it. I thought we were finally going to be on the same team on this one.
No, I like it and everything, but I wasn't down with the story. I was like, man,
no,
I like some of the aspects of this, but it's just one big fucking fight. The only character I like, the only villain, I like Buena Vista more than Bullet.
Yeah, I think he's great. No, I think this rivals movie 6 for me. I thought this was incredible. What is with anime movies now, where they're just like, yeah, where the mangaka, the original author produces and goes, yeah, you can go ahead and write what you think the conclusion of my series is. Because Dragon Ball Super Broly did this, and probably did it better. My Hero Academia Heroes Rising did very well, to the extent where Horikoshi straight up said, yeah, that was actually my first rough draft of the finale. Now we have One Piece Stampede, that this could functionally work as a One Piece finale. But what's just so impressive is the fact that Oda looked at that and went, oh, I'm not worried. I have something better than that planned. For you see how easy that is. For me, I'm like, holy crap. This thing actually has some interest in wrapping up some arcs. Usopp is more based than he's ever been.
Yeah.
Me and Steena both
I literally saw
this.
Steena mention that when you watched Stampede in the comments, actually.
Because she was angry about our assertions about Syrup Village, and I was like, Steena, you understand, Syrup Village is a starting point for Usopp. We don't hate Usopp. We're not being ironic. We genuinely love Usopp. He starts off as a very weak, petulant man, and he grows throughout. And in the finale of Stampede, we really see some coming. We see some legitimate coming of age for Usopp. This is incredible, and basically the ending where like they go a little bit full circle with Goldie Roger, where you kind of see him kind of do a passing of the torch, where like they have the internal compass to Laugh Tale, and he goes, anyone who would actually find One Piece would never use that.
Nope.
And I love that, and it speaks volumes about that as a finale, where that was literally like Oda's words goes, this would not be the finale. It's incredible, isn't? But there's something more incredible on the way. I just like the feeling of this. The animation, again, it's not the same director as Super Broly, but it's definitely inspired. We have these long fucking action sequences. So how you felt about the overall product, Val, that's how I felt about like the opening 20 minutes. Where me and Steena first put that on, I went, oh, so this is just like everyone's here, fan servicey action sequence. Yeah, okay, I'm jiving with this, but it really turns on the fucking jets when Bullet, after the first Bullet fight, part 2, where he becomes the giant fucking kaiju, that's when everything changes. And when I discussed last week about Smoker, where I said I want this guy to finally decide where he rests in this spectrum, and he does it in this film where he decides to be the one good cop. It's not what I wanted for him, but I'm glad he has some conviction here. And, and just like, and the fact that we get to see Boa and Luffy reunited was fucking great. And she gets to kick ass.
I'm sorry, Ivan, are you a Bova? Oh, are you a Boa stan?
I am a Boa stan. She's a bit of an elf in
puppies, and she can do it because she's beautiful.
She's allowed to do whatever she wants because she's beautiful. Yeah, she literally says this. It's an actual line.
Yeah, no, it's an actual line. I could kill a puppy or a baby seal, and no one would hate me because I am beautiful.
amazing.
It's fucking great.
Wonderful. Like, she's kind of an L for women's rights, but, like, she is the wife that Luffy deserves. Because she's the only one that has patience for him. And I watched the English dub. That is... Colleen, if you're talking about just... This movie outdoes Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. It does the whole Dragon Ball shit. I've never hated Dragon Ball more than after watching this movie. Because this does the shtick better.
All of the Dragon Ball titles bother me. Because it's just, you could call it Dragon Ball, you could call it Dragon Ball Z, now it's Dragon Ball Super. And it's like, everyone just calls it Dragon Ball Z, even still.
Because it's the same thing, but worse.
I know.
Yeah, this thing outdoes the shtick. I can't believe it. And going back to Colleen, the finale, the final fight, the climax, that's the hardest I've ever heard an actor go. If we're talking about screamy shonen, as of Stampede, Colleen is queen.
Yeah, I think I told
crazy.
you, I saw Stampede in cinema.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah,
I am
and it was,
so
it
jealous.
was cool, and everyone was super respectful too, because like I said, I'm in England, we have pretty respectful audiences and shit like that who don't scream at the top of their lungs.
So if this aired in the US, Val, it would be a practically empty theater, because that's something I want to discuss in our ongoing One Piece discussion. As much as I unironically adore 4Kids for many aspects, they ruined One Piece's reputation in the West.
Yes, they do.
We will all have to die. All us millennials will have to die so that the memory of 4Kids One Piece dub dies with us. Only then will its reputation heal in the West.
I actually had a packed cinema when I saw it.
Because you're farther out. You're almost east again.
Well, we had 4Kids, dude. We had Cartoon Network and everything. We were watching 4Kids.
But again, you're
like
a little bit more cultured than we are. If you go in the US, only the Zoomers like One Piece. Because they just don't know it. They didn't know, they didn't see what we saw. Like, ask anyone in my age group, it's very difficult to find a One Piece stand.
What is the most iconic 4Kids One Piece scene for you?
What's the most iconic One Piece scene for me?
For 4Kids, yes.
Oh, for 4Kids? Oh, now with that...
We're probably both thinking about, like, voice of guts Zorro.
Yes.
With that blood-curdling, Luffy!
Yes, that is my favorite.
As he comes down to kill him.
As well as the iconic shoe on a... It's a
like
gun that has a
hammer.
boot attached to it. A hammer, yes. A gun with a hammer attached to it. A very convoluted crane system with a hammer attached to a gun versus just a regular pistol. I love
I have to give them credit for like being bothered to like draw that. Like, no, it's got to be.
No,
goofy
that's inspired. Like literally, all those crazy edits you see in My Hero Academia Abridged, that is inspired by 4Kids. That is literally how I grew up with anime. The fact that you basically you didn't just localize. I remember back in, I always say about My Hero Academia Bridge, I westernized it. I localized the fuck out of it because I was so heavily influenced by 4Kids as a kid. The fact that is what you did to anime. If you dubbed over anime, you couldn't just fucking Google Translate it and call it a day. You had to fucking fit it into the culture of where you were presenting it to. Today, that is sacrilege. But back in my day, that is how it had to be done. Mm-hmm. And it is something to be appreciated. We laugh at it now, and that is fine. Laugh with it. But back in the day, man, I go back to this now, and that's what I used to do with the My Hero Academia bridges and the other bridges I did around the mid to late teens. Versus now, where I'm learning to actually respect the material the way it has to be now.
I wish for many things for my country, but more than anything, I just want us to have anime done. If we were doing One Piece, we wouldn't have censored it.
Exactly. No, and not only would you guys not have censored it, you guys would have gotten harder. You always talk about that dub. What's that dub you love so much? Old anime, British dub.
Urusei Yatsura.
Yes. Iconic
but they have
British dubbing.
They have loads of in-English jokes. Like, they reference celebrities and shit like that. They will outright say, oh, it's this guy from The Good Life. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you guys got dubs back again, like, and now you'd be struck. You'd have to be fucking appropriate and faithful like we are forced to now.
But if you just a little bit earlier, if British dubbing had maintained, they'd be pulling the same crap that 4Kids did in a British way, which would have been hilarious to see.
No, we wouldn't edit the footage, I don't think. Okay, a show
no,
that I love. I've told you about this many times.
You fuckers would change, like, you'd add, like, tea and fucking biscuits to shit.
No. Because, I've told you about this before. Monkey. Journey to the West, Monkey. I've told you about this before many times, and how much I freaking love it. It is super racy. It has racist accents and things like that, because it was made in, like, the 70s. Or whatever. It's
just that entertaining amount of problematic. It's a product of another time.
Pretty much. Yeah. I've got the entire DVD box set. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, you've talked about this before.
Yeah, I have. I will have to talk about this in detail. Honestly, it's probably what helped inspire Dragon Ball. Like, when did Dragon Ball come out? The 1980s, right?
80s, yeah. So, it most likely did. I mean, But on top of that, I mean, freaking, it's just a parody of Journey to the West, as Monkey also was.
Mm-hmm. Precisely. It's so good, though. God. It's like one of my favorite things that I've watched. Yeah, it's just called Monkey. Some people call it Monkey Magic, even though that's a completely different show. But whatever. Let's get back to Stampede. And I just want to, like, stipulate something. It's not that I really hate Stampede. I don't like an anime that decides to make the entire hour-long runtime, maybe a little bit more or something. I want to say that Stampede ran for at least 70 minutes or something like that. I cannot get that into something. Like, I can enjoy it in the moment, but then I go away and I think about it for a bit and I go, that was all a fight though, and an hour and 41 minutes.
Yeah,
so
to me, I thought it was
minutes.
remarkable. I was like, wow, this fight is literally going to last the whole time. It fucking kicks Super Broly's ass.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't even like Broly that much. I like the stuff
love
with,
that movie
I
too.
like the build-up. I like the build-up with Broly on the spaceship with the Frieza Force and, what's her name? Carey and Frieza and his dad and everything.
Yeah, that shit's cool.
I like the flashback with the Saiyans when everything's about to go to shit and everything like that. That's good. But then the movie's just a fight. I want to build up and stuff like that. And that's what I usually like about other One Piece films.
So yeah, you are correct on that. Broly definitely has better build up. So I retract that statement. Super Broly's still probably one of the best anime movies ever made.
Totally.
It's got better build up. It's got a darkness to it. Yeah.
It was also the fastest anime film I have ever seen get leaked online.
Oh yeah, because they didn't control the screeners. Because famously the Dragon Ball Super Broly Bridge that we did was used with a theater screener. They gave it to me. I literally went, because my movie theater is freaking just derelict and cheap. They did one press screening. I went there and I said, hey, what are you doing with that disc? And they said, Funimation didn't tell us what to do with it. I said, can I have it? Sure. And so I used that footage. So basically, that came out in the West in the spring. It was February. I had that shit in my hands in February.
Oh.
But I wasn't the only one, because the ones that got leaked online were also the same screener. Because I compared it with mine, I'm like, oh, they got the same thing.
I remember just going through YouTube and chilling one day with a friend, and we just saw Dragon Ball Super Broly, the movie, full thing, and it was in like top-notch quality.
Yes.
And I clicked it, and I was like, looked at my friend. There's no fucking way they have this. This was in February, I think.
Yes, it was in February because it came out in Japan in December, and then they had the premiere in the U.S. It was very fast in January, and then the press screeners were like late January, early February. I got mine the first week of February, and like I said, I literally went there and said, "What are you doing with that? Are you doing more screenings?" They said no. I said, "Can I have it?" And yeah, and I think that's the same. I think that's the same shit everyone else pulled. Whoever uploaded did the same thing I did, where they just asked for it, and they didn't have a contract or had any rules. Which now I think because of that, now they have rules because I've tried this again with Heroes Rising, and that they said no fucking way. They're like, get the fuck out of here.
When did Heroes Rising come out?
Heroes Rising came out right before the pandemic. So 2 Heroes came out like October of like 2018, the anime came out in 2016, so like 2018. So then Heroes Rising came out in Japan in like late 2019, and then came out in the West like March or late February 2020. It was literally the last movie I saw in theaters before the pandemic. Like a week later, the mask mandates happened.
Man, Two Heroes is such a just a whatever movie.
I enjoy it. For my hero standards,
Two Heroes.
I enjoy
Two
it.
Heroes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You talking about Two Heroes? Yeah. Two Heroes
yeah.
sucks.
I
Two
didn't
Heroes is
even
an OVA. Two Heroes is a fucking OVA.
I didn't even see Rising, I think. No,
You
I didn't.
should.
I didn't. I haven't seen it still.
You should. It's great. I really like it.
It's what I thought to myself, man, My Hero Academia is coming to an end.
It is.
Not soon, but, I got time if I went back and reread it, and it'd probably help for the podcast. I'd actually be able to, remember people's names consistently.
You're doing well. Honestly, you're doing very well, because even when you're caught up, those are not easy names to remember. I only remember them because I do an abridged where I'm literally looking at this shit frame by motherfucking frame and rewriting it. So, of course, I know what they are, but for the average person, because that's something that we got, again, I go back to those localization jokes. We got clowned on for that in the early days, and I'm like, it was basically people who watch it today clown on that. I go, guys, go back to 2016. Midoriya, Ochako, Bakugo, Todoroki, those were not easy names to remember. My Hero was a forced phenomenon. They had to really push to get those names to become memorable, because they're not Goku and Krillin, not easy names. In relation to other shonen. It took a long time for the general audience to understand what those names were.
Yaoyorozu. Yaoyorozu is probably the one that people still struggle with now. I'll talk to people about My Hero Academia.
Today, yes, I think to this day, yeah, they still struggle with it.
And some people just say, whatever her hero name is.
Yao Momo.
Creati or whatever.
They say Creati, and to me, I'm like, oh my god, Creati's terrible.
Or they'll just call her Momo. In fact, that's why they gave her the nickname, didn't they?
Yeah, that's why I said Yao Momo. Yao Momo is what they call her. Most people say Momo or Yao Momo.
Exactly. And he probably knew. Yeah, that's kind of a hard name to remember.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Back to Stampede though. So my point is, I don't hate Stampede. I appreciate that it is all entirely fan service. That's a very good point you bring up. Yeah, it does do a lot of things for maybe even finalizing or really cementing some of these things that we don't really concentrate on that much. Is Usopp a braver person than he used to be throughout the series and everything? Absolutely. He shows that in spades. A lot of the time he fights. He's overcoming terrible odds. He is God Usopp.
Yeah.
Leader of a fucking 1,000-man army, 8,000 men or something like that. The point about Smoker, I'd say they're still good cops. I mean, Marines and everything. You got
I mean, they definitely are. I was just talking about Smoker specifically.
Smoker's story in general.
Yeah,
no,
we haven't seen him in forever. Because this. So in the Shadow canon, this takes place right before Wano, or even during it. It's really weird. Because canonically, it's very caught up.
It's the usual weird thing about One Piece, where it's in an alternate universe,
yes,
the movies are I would say that Chopper, movie 9, did you watch movie 9?
Now, yeah, I've only seen the big ones. I've only seen Stampede, Z, Gold, 6.
Strong World.
Strong World, yes.
Which I would still say is the absolute strongest One Piece movie.
I like the animation, and I think that one has some of my favorite animation. I like the way Luffy moves in that. But
really
no,
good.
Actually, I said,
well, that's the first film I believe that Oda actually had input on, and
and it makes sense because that one talks about Nami a lot.
Yes, it does. But that's when, because you got the One Piece movies, Ivan. I'm sure you've noticed this. You got the One Piece movies, and then you've got the One Piece films.
Yes, the films are the original stories, and then they have the recaps, and that's why I've been getting confused trying to track down these movies, because some of them for what, as fanatical as One Piece fans are about the series and the manga, they're very lethargic on the films. They really are. It's very hard to it's almost like pulling teeth trying to ask another One Piece fan, what movies am I supposed to be watching? They don't fucking know sometimes.
I'd actually say absolutely go watch the first One Piece movie, because it's a very interesting point where it's after Syrup Village, but it's before Baratie, So it's before Nami's betrayal. So Nami's constantly, like, looking at the crew and everything like that, getting into trouble, and she'll, like, just choose to leave them to, like, get
That's
fucked
pretty
or something
sweet.
like that.
Speaking of, I just want to hold that thought real quick. Speaking of Baratier, did you see on Twitter they leaked the what the ship looks like in the Netflix series?
No, I didn't, because
They have an
do
actual live
not
action Baratier.
care, but okay.
I don't know. We're all hating on Netflix right now, but fuck, remember they got a One Piece coming out. I know it's gonna be shit, but I take One Piece wherever I can get it, man. They got me. They got me wrapped around their finger on that one.
You know me, I'm not gonna make a big stink about it or anything like that online. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, like, I think everyone knows, a lot of people, you know my opinion. Anime shouldn't be, made in real life and everything.
Yeah, I agree. And when they first announced the One Piece Netflix series, I was just like, how? One Piece is, out of all the ones you want to adapt to live action, that's the one you shouldn't, because it's too freaking surreal.
Right? It's like,
it's too freaking surreal.
I guarantee Spy Family is gonna get a Netflix live action remake or something.
They're not, but Japan is, without a doubt, working on a Spy X Family movie, live action movie, that
Because
will then be translated and dubbed to Netflix.
Because it could work.
If they did it for Kaguya-sama, they'll do it for Spy X Family.
They did it for Kaguya-sama?
They did. Oh my god, dude! I was on a flight. They play it on my Delta flights whenever I'm traveling.
What?
They always have it, and I always like peek a little bit. I can't stand it. Again. Why would you do that?
They do that a lot with romantic anime, though, don't they? They've got, like, live action My Love Story, I think.
Yes. I was about to say.
Yeah, they always do.
Because it's very cheap and easy. It's a good bottom line.
Oh, it's like the American horror film where they're like, yeah, live action anime romance film.
What the one I can't believe they did it for, and I've really hardly ever heard shit in the West for, was the JoJo Part 4.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. I mean, obviously, if you were told we want to do a live action JoJo, and then you say, oh, okay, so we're gonna like go to England, we'll go to Liverpool, find like a stately manor or something to fill in, like, you know, film in, they'll be like, fuck no, we're jumping straight to Part 4. That's the cheapest one to make. We're not doing this.
Yeah,
We're
I was
not
gonna
doing
say,
this
that's why.
globe-trotting shit.
Fuck that Egypt shit.
Yeah, go to what? No, it's not even Egypt unless they do like what Part 3 did originally. You ever seen those OVAs?
Yeah.
I love those OVAs, Ivan.
Those original OVAs are sick.
Yeah, I love the dub even. What's that? You want me to beat your bum? Well, okay. I'll fucking kill you.
To me, it's just that scene where Kakyoin goes like flying through the neon sign and there's no music. It's just all sound effects.
The Dio fight
There's
in
something
that.
just like visceral about that.
The entire Dio fight in that OVA is one of the best anime fights I think my young self had ever seen. Walking in on my brother who was torrenting that shit or something, and I saw Jotaro for the first time stepping up to Dio. I just thought he was the coolest guy I had ever seen in anything. Popped collar, badass, like kind of fucking like that school hat and everything. The chain hanging off of that popped collar. And then he's got the ghost and everything. I had no idea what was going on. I just thought it was the most badass thing I'd ever seen. So I was very surprised when I like actually got into JoJo, and I was like, oh man, this is a little sillier than like the OVA really did it.
Yeah, because honestly, my first intro to JoJo was that OVA, where it was a lot more serious, and I jumped to Part 3, where immediately Jotaro was calling his mother a bitch from a jail cell, and I immediately turned it off. I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? This is goofy shit. And then I saw Part 4 and went, oh, JoJo's fucking cool. Now I'll watch from the beginning. And I got back to Part 3 and I went, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Part 3 just sucks.
Part 3
I
doesn't
will die on that hill.
suck.
Part 3 sucks.
I would argue that Part 4 sucks in many regards,
Part
you son of a
3
bitch.
is shit. It's the worst one.
Bullshit. Part 4 has
all
barely
filler.
any goddamn character development. Josuke is
Fucking stupid,
incomplete
weird,
as a
and
character.
filler.
I'm gonna protect my mom in this town. You didn't do shit, Josuke. You gallivanted around with your goddamn friends
he's a
while a murderer
fucking idiot.
killed
He's a
your fucking
fucking
friend.
kid.
Shut the fuck up. Let's get back to One Piece.
It was very authentic. That's what I would expect a 16-year-old to do. It's the most realistic shonen I've ever seen.
Damn right, it's realistic, but god damn it.
Where a
he
16-year-old
was
bounces
lacking
into his
a
town and he
goddamn
fucking goofs
character
off, eats
arc.
fucking ice cream.
I can argue this till I'm blue in the goddamn face. Josuke lacks a character arc. All the characters are fucking not used enough. Koichi, nothing. We get good. Koichi is literally like the best one. Why isn't Koichi the main character?
Right? I mean, he's set up that way.
Yeah.
He narrates the beginning.
He is literally the one that Jotaro Jotaro's like, Koichi, go to Italy for me. I can't be fucked.
Can't be fucked with by Josuke and these other chuckle fucks.
Yeah, exactly. It's honestly, JoJo is one of those things, I think I mentioned this before, how there is so much, like, the parts all feel like it's all building up to one big thing, and then you get to part 6, and you're like, oh my god, all the sons of Dio. Why don't they mention Giorno or anything like that? Oh, because Giorno is apparently unaffected because he has the power of, like, fucking gold experience requiem.
Very much in character for Giorno to, like, just pull out of his ass. Yeah, I just don't. I'm fucking invincible.
Yeah, I can't be fucked with any of this shit.
That's why I hate Part 5. I mean, Part 5's iconic. There's things about it I do enjoy.
Okay, what do you hate about
But I can't stand Giorno.
God damn, I want to get back to one. Okay, how come?
Like I said, he's the most Deus Ex Machina of all the JoJos. He has the most, like, cryptic stand power in the entire series. It just works. His stand power is, it just works for this moment. Whatever I need, it just happens.
Gold Experience is a funny one, but then again, we both know it started off as something that Araki didn't quite pin down in figuring out its power.
Yeah, it shows. It shows he doesn't know what the fuck he was doing with it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I completely agree with that. Gold Experience. But Giorno as a character, I feel has a very great purpose in the story, where in which every arc he is winning over one person after another in these different ways, proving his reliability to them, essentially. And that is literally his entire mission, because Giorno understands that
he's already pretty much proven off the fucking bat. His fucking teammates are assholes.
His teammates are assholes, but he comes to love them as much as they appreciate his, like, being there and his, like, for example, iconic bit, him helping Mista aim his bullet in such a moment of tension and suspense, where Mista's like fucking got the shakes. He's like, I might fuck this up. God damn. And Giorno is there, calm and composed, and he is like, I'm fucking with you. You will not fail. Fire that fucking gun. And moments like when he genuinely mourns, only briefly, over the fucking death of Narantia. And he is so fucking torn up about it. You can tell. He fucking kneels down at his body and makes him a fucking, like, bed of fucking flowers from his hometown and shit, so that he can fucking rest in peace. And he's like, no one can ever hurt you again. And he's fucking going for Diavolo because he's like, this guy killed my fucking friend, but he can't be fucking overly, like, emotional about it, because he gotta go into this with his best head on. I always think about his childhood and how it connects to one of my favorite scenes, we've just completely got off One Piece, goddamn. My favorite scene, where he is fighting the Ice Guy, White Album. His name eludes me right now, but I'm thinking about that goddamn meme where someone put angry video game nerd over him. It's like, Man 99, Man 2000, 2001, who the fuck even is John Madden? And it's like perfect, like holy fucking shit. I would sell someone's soul, not mine, someone's soul to the devil, to get angry video game nerd to have dubbed that character. Anyway, moment of tension, Mista's dying, and the sun rises up. And Giorno talks about finding the light, essentially. And I think back to that point where, when he was a baby, his mom would leave him alone in a dark room all night while she went out and fucking partied. And that gave Giorno, like, this incredible fear of the dark. It's not super direct or anything like that, but I think Giorno's genuine growth throughout it, even though he doesn't show, like, much in terms of, like, this emotional thought on the things that he's, like, going through and connecting it or anything like that, he just goes for it. I fucking find that shit inspiring. Finding the light in that moment and finding the strength and, like, just getting that shit done. I'm struggling to, like, describe it. I think that's why Giorno is a really good character. A better character in my mind, at least, in terms of, like, his story and his arc than Josuke. Josuke is purely likable and really cool. He's got an amazing power, great personality. He's funny as fuck. He is a realistic teenager. That's damn right. On a technical level, you are absolutely right. Because then there's thematic writing and then there's technical writing and shit like that. So, give or take. Does that make sense, that tangent I just went on?
Cringe. So back to One Piece Stampede.
Give me... I'm taking a sip of water. I was about to spit that everywhere. Give me a real answer, you son of a bitch.
You should have done the spit take. It would have been authentic. It would have been visceral.
Does that make sense
No,
though?
that makes perfect sense because Val, you are our freaking JoJo's expert, so I completely respect and understand your takes.
You just like Josuke more.
I just like Josuke more. Josuke's funny.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. If someone just says they like Josuke more, I understand, but I would say that Josuke is missing massive pieces of his arc.
Yeah, because they got cut out because he didn't go back to travel in time and save himself as a child.
He didn't get to go back in time. Yeah.
He never did that.
That's the fucking
bullshit.
That is the theory. Yeah.
Hey, everyone, add Salty DK Dan on Twitter and talk about Josuke going back in time. He'll fucking love that.
Back to One Piece though. So something that we didn't talk about at all, which I was like begging us to do, is the crew. What do we think about the crew as a whole right now? No, don't give a shit about spoilers. I'm talking from Luffy all the way to Jinbei, and maybe even some side characters. What are your thoughts?
Let's work our way down, man. We'll start with Luffy. Luffy is the greatest shonen protagonist ever fucking made. He is one of the most emotionally intelligent of them all. And we all go back to Arlong Park on that shit. I adore him. He fights with respect. There's Goku who fights for fun. And Luffy absolutely does it too, but fun, it stops at fun for Goku. And then also cleaning up his friends' messes, because they all get their asses whooped. He watches them die, and he goes, okay, now I'll save my friends after they're dead. Mm-hmm. Luffy has a better track record of saving his friends. Not just physically, but emotionally. Again, he's a very emotionally intelligent young man.
Most definitely.
He is a intellectually stupid, but emotionally a genius. And right now, Fifth Gear. We already talked about this last episode. I never liked his gear transformations until Fifth Gear, where now we see something that actually feels very true to Luffy. It's a transformation sparked purely by joy, the thrill of a fight and adventure.
Well, what if I told you there is a reason why you feel like those gear transformations aren't Luffy, and that is because you might remember this. But Gear 2 is him kind of mimicking an aspect of CP9's combat style.
Yes.
Where he apparently like watched. I could be remembering this wrong. I'm pretty sure I've got this dead on. But it was something about Luffy mimicking something in their fighting style, so that he could, like, go into, like, adrenaline mode, basically, constantly. Because that's what it is. He, like, pumps blood through his body.
Yeah, he pumps the blood. I actually like that one. I like Second Gear.
Second Gear is fucking cool.
I like pumping blood in his rubbery veins.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. It's the third and fourth ones I don't like.
Oh, you don't like...
But I understand why they're there.
Third Gear... I'm surprised you don't like Third Gear. Because it adds so much to what is now Gear 5... The cartoony nature of his ability, literally.
Well, that's where I'm getting at, is the fact that now, in retrospect, third through fourth is build up. They're practically not even actual transformations. They're transitions. Fifth Gear is actually the first true transformation. Everything else is Luffy figuring it out and adding, like, it's like a melting pot of him adding what he knows, what he's seen, including hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's mixing things together, and it's not quite refined yet. And it's almost try-hardy, and it doesn't quite work. And Fifth Gear is like Luffy finally actually doing a proper transformation.
I wouldn't say Gear 4th is try-hardy, because everyone literally acknowledges how silly he looks.
That's true.
And even I, in 2015, when, like, the manga was, like, coming to the end of Dressrosa 2014, 2015 or something like that, and they revealed Gear 4th. In fact, I remember being sat in the corridor, waiting for our freaking lecturer, and I was reading the One Piece manga on my phone, and it's like, he kneels down, Gear 4th. One Piece won't be here next week, going on break. I was like, fuck!
It's a thankless job, because I was like, why do you make those silly too? But then no one would take it seriously. So like he was kind of in a corner there.
Well, it's honestly, it's just the nature of the Gum Gum Fruit. People laugh at the idea of, like, because they see Luffy coming, and everyone underestimates Luffy naturally. Until recently, Luffy has always been underestimated because no one knew who he was.
They acknowledge him now as a fifth emperor.
Yeah, exactly. Or the potential fifth
And
emerald.
he fucking deserves it. The fucker's got a fleet now.
He does. Not that he's ever going to use it unless absolutely... They're going to come and help him. He's not going to ask them for help.
Yeah, oh yeah, he refused it. And he's like, yo, I don't want a fleet. And they said, bro, not your fucking choice. If you're going to be king of the pirates, people are going to follow you.
Yeah, and we want to be there to back... And they just want to be there to back him up because he's fucking Luffy.
Which, again, one of the things I appreciate about Stampede, this is the first time we really see the fleet besides the splash pages at work.
I love the... What are your thoughts on splash pages? Splash pages
what do you,
are amazing.
What do you call them? Not splash page. Splash page is a big left to right page.
Oh, yeah.
You call it a window?
It's a word for a... well, the splash page is the door. It's
or
the door.
a door page.
Yeah.
That's what you call it. Yeah, that's what they're door pages. They're hit or miss for me. I'm glad they're there. I like that, because usually door pages, they do funny little like AUs or just nice things. I like that he uses that to continue the story. So I appreciate them, but I don't follow them as hard as everyone else does.
He either does stories or he does art requests. Like, for example, Crocodile helping a puppy, which melts
hardest
my fucking...
image. I want that framed. I want a full painting, huge fucking painting in my fucking
Crocodile
study.
standing in the rain covering a dog from the fucking, like, it's, yeah, no, you're right.
Yes, that picture goes so... That is the hardest thing ever put to print.
But, I would say that... I get Gear 5th is absolutely the perfect transformation for Luffy, totally.
And it's earned. And now that has happened, now I appreciate the previous ones. Because now we see that we worked to get to that.
Yeah. I think Gear 4, because I didn't like Gear 4 when it was first released. So I waited 2 weeks, and then I saw Gear 4, and I was like, looking at it, I was like, what the? Man, he looks fucking silly. And then I got over it, because I was like, well, yeah, it's Luffy. Of course he's going to look silly. No matter what Luffy does, he has one of the silliest powers in that world, and everyone will take him very like lightly initially when they see him. And like I said, until recently. Only now do people in the story actually take Luffy as a viable threat, because everyone knows about his bounty now. Like, we go back to Bellamy the Hyena, the Jaya arc and everything like that. The disrespect he got, but also the fact that, like you said, it adds to his emotional intelligence, the way that Luffy just, like, brushed it off even after getting a savage beating, because you know what? They weren't worth it, and he knows that they're not worth it. So he just walks away, because guess what? He just wants to, like, go looking for treasure with his friends and having a good time. Fuck those guys if they don't believe in Sky Island, right?
Right. And one more thing about Luffy before we move on that I love about him. The respect that he earns of his antagonists. They all respect him. They laugh at him until they respect him. Katakuri freaking stabs himself because it would only be fair. I love that man.
Katakuri is an amazing mirror for Luffy, because Katakuri...
Exactly, that's why I bring him up.
Yeah, Katakuri has, like, this amazing power. He's, like, well-respected, but no one in his family actually loves him. Whereas Luffy has all of these people and this crew that absolutely love him. Katakuri literally strives for a healthy family dynamic.
Yes, I like him. And so that's what I just want to mention is the fact that he does... Kaido is having Kaido is suicidal until he meets Luffy.
Right.
And now he's like, oh my god, there finally someone to bring joy to my life.
I loved that moment where the CP0 agent burst in to, like, interrupt the fight and hit Luffy from behind, and he had flashbacks of, like, what happened with Oden.
Yeah, and then Kaido apologizes too. He's like, sorry about that shit.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Kaido at one point did say that he believes whoever's the winner's the winner is the winner, the loser's the loser. Doesn't matter how you cut it. But it's obviously he's, like, had this change of mind because he hasn't been satisfied with any of the fights that he's had.
Not only that, but that's what you say when you're losing.
Yeah.
You say winners are winners and losers are losers until you're losing, bitch.
Yeah, and it's like
that's a soft liver mentality.
Kaido's really... I want more out of Kaido in these last, like, bits of Wano.
I think we'll get it. We will get it. I feel confident in Wano.
Yeah. I'm, like, because I felt like Wano wasn't doing Kaido justice for a long time. Until very recently, that we've gotten the insight, like, King's insight into it. And Kaido's, like, you know, like, absolute certainty. I'm the fucking Joy Boy! It's just so fucking cool. And his introduction, falling off a sky island, hoping to die. What? They did that perfectly in the anime. But moving on from Luffy.
We've already talked about Usopp. I just want to
we
mention
have.
Usopp.
Usopp is just absolutely amazing.
Petulant-based and grows up to be badass and based.
Yeah.
Zoro. Zoro is the one that over time, I've joked about this last week. And again, he's the one I've fallen off of. I appreciate his simplicity. Because sometimes that's just all you fucking need. Like, Zoro could be a breath of fresh air. And the quote-unquote nothing moment is fucking iconic for Zoro. I've never ever seen him be that badass again.
I would say a moment that I love for Zoro is if you go against this man's order or something, or if you, it's when the crew is having their worst time, Water 7, they're under a lot of pressure, ship's breaking, Luffy's faced his first big loss against an enemy that, like, serendipitously gave him mercy and the rest of his crew. Usopp's feeling absolutely, like, just disgusting himself for being so weak, and Usopp just says that thing that Zoro fucking immediately turns on. In fact, Sanji kicks him into a freaking wall for saying it, because he's like, maybe you shouldn't be fucking captain then. And Zoro's like, look, if he questions the captain, he doesn't belong on this ship. I really appreciate...
Zoro is simplicity and pragmatism. That's what I appreciate. I appreciate about him, because, yes, I like that line.
Okay, you've noticed this, I'm sure. I'm sure you as a writer, you fucking already know this, but it's the fact that for most of the series, until around Sky Pier, no one is taking being a pirate very seriously.
Yeah, but Zoro does.
Yeah, Zoro does, though.
And that's the reason why they call Zoro Luffy's right hand.
Yeah, that's why he's the second in command and everything. He is the only one who really
I don't
takes
think
being
he's second
a
in
pirate.
command, though.
He's the first.
I think he's the right hand, and I think Nami's the left.
Oh, most definitely. Nami's like... I remember talking to a mate, and he was like, oh, Nami's so shit, though. She doesn't have fights and everything. It's like, but I don't care that Nami doesn't have fights.
That's not the point of Nami.
No, it isn't. Nami's a fucking coward.
Nami is base, too. She's just there for the money.
She's not a coward. She's smart.
She's smart? I was gonna say, Usopp's a coward. Nami's smart. She's the only one besides Robin that's smart.
Agreed. But Zoro's cool. Maybe too cool for school. For you. I still like Zoro. I know you still like Zoro. But I'm guessing he's just kind of gone down on your radar of, like, the Straw Hats.
Yeah, but so move on to Nami. Like, keep on that subject.
Yeah.
This is what the issue I've been having with One Piece. Like I said, when we reach the end of what I call peak phase, it's because we run out of developmental moments for these characters, and Nami is really the first one to get the full development package because of Arlong Park. And then after that, she's just kind of there. She's great. But I'm waiting for Nami to get it seems like, basically after Whole Cake Island with Sanji, I'm like, oh, I think everyone's going to get a part 2 now for development. And I'm waiting for Nami's. Because Nami was the first.
I don't think Nami meanders around. Nami, after Arlong Park, has a deep vested interest in the dreams and hopes of others.
Yes.
And the specific person that she has this, like, feeling for is Vivi, where Vivi is feeling absolutely helpless and alone. She is facing a gigantic threat, and she is helpless to do anything about it because she is so far away from home. And Nami is freaking determined to get her there as fast as possible, even risking her own health after the Little Garden incident. She doesn't even want to stop off an island. She's like, nah, I just need a bit of sleep. Oh, fuck. And she was she was on the cusp of death. She didn't know it, but she would have died if she got too caught up or wasn't forced to stop trying to help Vivi. Nami proves so well all the time her place, why she is there in the crew, because no one else can do that.
Absolutely.
Because my mate was just like, but Nami doesn't fire anything. She's not cool. It's like, that's not the fucking point, man.
Yeah, that's not the point.
She's the most useful person. She's like the linchpin in all of this. And without her, they'd be fucked. And
then you brought up Water 7, so bring it back to Sanji. Water 7 is so good to Sanji. A lot of arcs are very good to Sanji.
Alabasta is good to Sanji.
Sanji is spoiled. I think Sanji is Oda's favorite. Because Sanji gets all the good shit.
I mean, he's doing espionage and shit like that in bloody, Little God and everything. Like, you know.
Yeah, but in Water 7, that scene where he goes on the train and forgives Robin, and he just starts kicking the shit out of everyone on the train by him. He starts soloing everyone on the train. Is fucking amazing. And Sanji has this big thing in Baratie, and then he's in Water 7, Little Garden. Where else? I mean, fuck, he's always great.
There's the bit where
Alabasta. He's
like,
always great.
Yo, it's me, Mr. Prince. And he's like faked being captured, and then they walk outside, and him and Chopper have just taken everyone out, and Sanji's already in the casino saving people.
Yeah, and then you think, wow, Sanji could never get cooler. And then Whole Cake Island happens. And to this day, I swear to fuck, they better not give that bastard Germa powers. Please don't do it.
And then?
Because your friend complains about Nami not being able to do cool things. And so one would make the argument that she's the most human. But it's Sanji. Sanji is the most human.
He's the most corrupted by his vices.
Yes, he's the hedonist. Exactly. And it makes him so human. But on top of that, you get his origin story. I discussed this in our Whole Cake Island recap. A couple episodes early. Where he is the product of a failed experiment. His siblings become fucking superheroes, but they lose their humanity in the process. Sanji is deemed a failure because he's the most human, and that's incredible. I love Sanji. He's amazing.
So how do you feel about him getting Germa powers?
When his eyebrows curl the other way, I hate it. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm devastated.
I understand that sentiment. I like that moment, though, where he questions if he's ever going to be... If, with the, like, you know, appearance of these powers, he's, like, distraught.
Yeah, I mean, almost as distraught as I am.
Yeah, he is, like, distraught. He is like, oh my fucking god. Am I no longer... Like, and he has that moment where he's like, wait, did I hit this girl? But no, it was actually just Queen moving around.
I love that. I do. That's what I'm happy about, is the fact that even Oda is already immediately responding to the consequences of that. I just made this guy so human, and now we give him powers, and I'm immediately going to address the fact that how dehumanized he feels for that, and how much his own humanity is very important to him. So to that degree, I'm very happy. This wasn't a lazy toss away. He's like,
no,
now he gets powers because we have to escalate. That's not what this is about. He's spoiling Sanji.
A lot of people are actually disappointed, I think, because I think many people feel that the Queen fight is a lot better than the King fight with Zoro. Because a lot of One Piece fans, similar to Dragon Ball Z fans, a little bit too obsessed with battles. I like fights. I
Way
love
too
the
obsessed.
fights in
Oh,
One Piece.
so that review I'm working on, that's one of the biggest jokes I keep coming back to, is the contingency of the One Piece audience that is so obsessed with who's the strongest member of the Straw Hats. It doesn't fucking matter. I don't give a fuck who can fight who. That's not the problem. The best fight in the series is Luffy versus Usopp. It's not even close after that. Otherwise, there are no fights in that series between them that fucking matter.
Yeah, my friend is talking to me about, like, a story he's trying to write, or, like, trying to, like, lead himself up to writing. He's telling me ideas for, like, fights he has and everything like that, and I was like, okay, well, that all sounds cool and all, but... And I say, but what are the stakes?
Fights are great. I mean, like, congratulations. Fights are what I struggle with. Because I'm too busy developing my fucking characters, not their power levels.
And that's precisely what I said. I said to him, but what are the stakes of this fight? What's the
Why does it matter? And if you ever want to teach a shonen trash kid, like a kid who's like, man, I want to write shonen someday, show them the Luffy versus Usopp fight. Show them, you can only show them one fight in One Piece. One fight in any shonen, you have to show them Luffy versus Usopp. It has everything you could ever fucking want in a shonen battle. You have brains versus brawn. You have creativity. You have stakes. You have a battle of ideals. You have two best friends going at it. This is a rival battle.
I also love the fact that you get, like, that insight into what everyone thinks.
Yes, and you get a peanut gallery that matters.
I hate battle commentary. I fucking hate battle commentary so goddamn much. It's one of the reasons I freaking hate Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that.
It's not that battle commentary is bad. It's because Dragon Ball popularized bad commentary. I can't read their power levels. Whereas you go to Luffy versus Usopp, and you see the fucking horror on their fucking faces. What the fuck?
Yeah, Nami is literally like, oh god, please stop. Chopper's like trying to run in and give Usopp medical attention, and Sanji's like, no, it's like that scene in Friday. Let him be a man, let him be a man.
Let's segue to Chopper, who I love him. I love Chopper. I am very partial to Doctor characters, and
course.
Chopper gets done so dirty.
It's because they've made him too much of a mascot.
Yes, he's a mascot and a joke, and that's very upsetting. Because Chopper, he could be based like Usopp.
Chopper used to be amazing.
He did, yeah, he used to be based. And now he's just kind of there. He's kind of a chew toy character now. He kind of took over the petulance of Usopp, but in a bad way.
A little. It's strange that he is kind of lumped in with the...
He is the weak character.
Yes. He is in the quote-unquote, as the community call it, the weakling trio. Because you got the monster trio, Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, and then the weakling trio is Usopp, Nami, Chopper.
Yeah, but that's so untrue. Except for Chopper. But the one joke I do like about Chopper is how low his bounties are.
Yes.
He's cotton candy loving Chopper, and he's got a bounty of like 50 berries, and I love that.
100, sir.
100 now? Okay.
I think Chopper might actually officially get a new bounty after Onigashima.
We can only pray. Pray that it's $1. It's $1 more. 101.
Right.
But that's what I love about Chopper, because guess what? Chopper's a doctor. He heals people. Why would he have a bounty? He helps people. And that's the base part of Chopper.
He's so loving.
That's the part that works with Chopper. That's what I like about Chopper. I want them to lean in more with that. Instead, they punish Chopper for this. And that's funny the first 50 times, but now we're in like the millionth time because One Piece has been going on for so long.
Yeah. I think Chopper is going to get something soon. I
think so. Again, Whole Cake Island gives me hope that everyone is going to get something else now, because the guys I'm falling off on could get another second chance like Sanji did. A little bit of a retcon, and I would like that.
I feel like they attempted to give Zoro a second part of his reveal because they had that chapter where obviously he's like, oh, the person that made my sword was this old man who I met once, and only now am I thinking about him. And I was like...
Yeah, because they're getting ready for more,
yeah.
And I hope so. I love all these characters. I want more of them. Let's move on to,
how about Frankie? Robin, because we talked a bit about Robin last week.
I like her reminds me of the same thing. We both thought Frankie went no, but if we're going in the order of what's important, we got to talk about Robin.
Absolutely, no, faux show. Robin immediately shows just how freaking useful she is to the crew, where the ship falls down on them. Like, I skipped the bloody Rainbow Mist arc or whatever with my friends. I was like, look, Rainbow Mist is shit. I didn't want to fucking, like, don't even bother with it. Let's just get straight to the good shit with Jaya. I'm doing him on one pace, so I'm like skipping fillers that I feel like are really crap and everything like that when we have to like go back into the main thing. So I said, let's get back to Jaya. And she's examining like the bones and everything, the wood. She's like telling them all about it and stuff, and they're all
yeah,
like,
but she's the one that brings up the poneglyphs. And what I like about I talk about peak One Piece. Robin is peak One Piece.
Yeah, Robin is the road. Robin is the road to One Piece.
She's the tail end of the core group's development. So I talk about, well, everyone else needs another, because it's been so long since we've really had these something very interpersonal with them. Robin is smack dab in the middle of One Piece, the story. So I still feel fresh on her development.
Absolutely.
And she is the peak. She is Enies Lobby. I love her. She's one of my fucking favorites.
Robin, I imagine another reason that you love Robin is Robin shows she's the first character that I think, not the first, because you've got characters like Nami who get dobbed over by the government, like that rat-faced guy and everything, like siding with Arlong and being like, I want her money.
Yes, but Robin is the one where you really
understand the darkness of the world government.
That's when you find like it cannot be. It's again. I talked about last week, where it came to the point where there was no longer a joke or there was nothing to hide anymore. When Oda's editors realized, oh fuck, we're doing this, and we can't go back now.
Yeah.
And that's Robin. Robin is the one who really introduces the fullest stakes of the darkness of the world government. And that's incredible.
It is. No, like, they're just wiping out islands and communities, civilizations, even.
For people demonstrating ideas that they do not approve. It's
Exactly.
too true to today's world. Love it. Next, we'll go to Frankie. Frankie's just the guy. Frankie's just a cool guy. I'm never worried about Frankie. He's very fresh, like Robin's development, where he's very fresh.
Frankie is the most, I'm gonna say this, Frankie is the most chaotic person on the crew.
Yes, and that's good, because otherwise he has nothing else to offer, and that's fine.
He embraces being a mad scientist. He blew up a fucking country pre-time skip.
Yes, like his silhouette, Frankie is top-heavy. His development is top-heavy, and that's okay, because again, it happened during peak One Piece.
Yeah.
I love that. He's the reason why Water 7 is so fucking great.
He is.
Water 7 is for Frankie, and his lobby is for Robin. They fade into each other. It's great. Again, Frankie's also another guy who demonstrates the problems of the world government.
Oh, most definitely. But that's because the Spandam is an absolute garbage human being.
He's a trash.
Have you seen what these characters will look like when they're like 40 to 60?
Nope, I haven't seen it.
Okay. There are these cute little drawings that Oda does where he takes each crew member of the Straw Hats.
Show me this
like,
after the show, because it's only because we are getting so close to the end here.
I know what you mean. But we got to do this. And in Frankie's version, there are two versions he draws of them. There's one where they're going like the good route, where everything goes well, where they all met up and everything, and then it's like, oh, this is like Sanji grows out his beard and shit, you know? And he's got like hair kind of like it's kind of like his masters, the chef.
Yeah, the old man.
Redleg. But then they do a bad version of what if things didn't go well? What if they never met up with the Straw Hats or something and just went the dark path that, like, you know, life had kind of set out for them before Luffy showed up in their lives? Frankie progressively transformed himself into something less and less human until he became the final and ultimate Battle Frankie, which just sails the ocean and destroys everything. And that's one of the cool things about Frankie, in which he's got that mad scientist thing going on really fucking bad, where he's like, you know, blowing up countries, he's like causing irreparable freaking damage to stuff. And he's just still going along his merry way, having a grand time with his friends. He just loves it. He's such a fucking cool dude. And I think he's that, like, really chaotic personality in the Straw Hats that's needed.
Going on next, we have Brook. I love
Amazing.
Brook's story. Again, top-heavy development.
People fucking hated Brook when he was first in. A lot of people didn't like Brook. I can understand why. He was introduced in name. It's like on the tip of my tongue.
Thriller Bark?
Thriller Bark, thank you. Like, I literally had it, but I couldn't get it out. He was introduced in Thriller Bark, and then what immediately happens after Thriller Bark? We meet Sanji's doppelganger, and then everyone gets separated. And it really didn't give Brook any, like, room to, like, do much. Like, we got plenty of, like, characterization from Brook. Like, Brook is kind of a bitch, honestly. Like, he's coming out with little comments, but it's, like, in the nicest way, it seems, because of the tone of his voice and everything like that. There's, like, a funny thing where, everyone's, like, giving Sanji better names for his, Germa 66, battle outfit. And, Brook makes a really snide reference to him peeking in the hot tubs and stuff like that. And bringing up things. Brook's always bringing up, like, little things about people that make them kind of pissed off at him or saying inappropriate shit, but he doesn't give a shit because he's dead.
I just like a bard. You need One Piece is unabashedly a fucking
D&D campaign.
D&D campaign, and you have the bard. You fight. It took forever, but the bard, as you said, people didn't like Brook at first because the bard could try everyone's patience. Mm-hmm. I appreciate Brook. I think Brook is an important piece to reconnecting them to the beginning of their journey on the Grand Line, because he connects to Laboon, and I like that. And being sake should be the national anthem.
Brook is like a bard with zero charisma, because obviously he's a fucking dead person.
Right? It's great. It's a great little twist.
Yeah,
I like him.
Brook is the character that most of the crew probably get the most annoyed by, especially the women, and
as they should.
Jinbei.
I'm not sold on Jinbei. I understand Jinbei. I hope he sticks around this time. That's one of the things I've been having trouble with, struggling with One Piece, is the fact that up until the climax of Wano, they've been separated for a very long time, everyone.
Yes.
And Jinbei's barely even been around. He really hasn't established a actual repertoire. Like, we talk about that many members of the crew are annoyed by Brook. At least they have a relationship with Brook. Jinbei is just beginning right now with the crew. And to this day, I'm still more sold on Vivi being a true blue straw hat than Jinbei.
I think Jinbei has a lot of really well done characterization in a part that I actually wanted to bring up in One Piece, one of my favorite bits, is the story of Fisher Tiger. Is probably one of my favorite stories, which is thematically about racism and the way it corrupts people and the way that those people also hate themselves. As Fisher Tiger basically says, I do fucking hate humans. I do. But I don't want to be twisted up by it, and I definitely don't want it. I don't want this kind of vitriolic hate towards humans or fishmen to be in anyone else, because it's fucking awful. And I'm ashamed of myself, basically.
Yep. Our audience has been commenting about Fishman Island. They're like, everyone, you should be rereading that. I'm like, I will.
Oh, yeah. No.
It.
It's like, I just don't like Fishman Island because, like, I remember it was at a point where I was like, the time skip happened.
Yep.
All the characters, like, changed design, and that's the thing. Oda went pretty hard on some of the design. Not all of them. Like, Zoro, he's got, like, a kai. He wears more traditional samurai stuff then. Sanji's got the beard and stuff, but then it's, like, Frankie and everything. And there was, like, a transition in animation style, even art style in general. So I remember it was, like, kind of hard to, like, get back into it for a little bit for me. Because this was back in, like, 2010.
Yeah, I already discussed this. That time skip ruined a lot for me, pacing-wise.
I don't think it ruined... No, it was just hard. It was just a hard pill, that transition. But I love the fact that Jinbei has, like, taken away the lesson that he learned from Fisher Tiger, and he lives by that, basically. And he refuses to live with hate in his heart, basically. At all.
Yes.
And then you can compare him to characters like Arlong and Hody. And his, like, that conversation he had with Ace. Because Jinbei isn't there just because he wants to join Luffy. Luffy has inspired him. But Ace was like, I believe he was like, man, if we fucking get out of here, look out for my little brother, dude. Like, he if I don't get out of here and you somehow do, look out for Luffy. Jinbei was there because he felt an obligation to take care of this fucking kid, this pup on the ocean that he's been around for ages. And he is the most experienced pirate on the crew now, next to Brook, who, like, you could say Brook was a jobber.
Yeah, again, that's the only, like, place I see for Jinbei. Otherwise, they consider him the helmsman of the crew. That's his job, which I go... That's one of the things about ever since the introduction of the Sunny, is the Sunny, they're hardly ever together enough, but when they do, the Sunny's been perfect, it's been helmed all right on its own, but I guess Jinbei can bring out its full potential, is what they're insinuating.
I suppose so, I hope so.
The fact that he's so strong, he can actually handle it, and now they can really push its limits.
He can physically grab the water and be like, get over there.
Yeah, I think that's his purpose, is to really push the limits of how they pilot the Sunny. The problem is that we don't have the whole crew together to really see that yet. So I'm crossing my fingers that going forward, we really see Jinbei really prove himself. Because we need it. Because otherwise, right now, I'm still more stuck up on Vivi.
Vivi was great. Vivi was a really great addition to the crew.
Vivi was the fastest retcon we ever saw in the series.
Vivi, what? Oh.
She was fucking Jessie for, like, in her introduction. And then they're like, oh, no, just kidding. I'm actually the princess of a kingdom.
Yeah.
And it's like, thank God. I think even Oda was like, oh, fuck, this is not working out. I'm not embarrassed. I'll change it right now in front of y'all.
It's like this. Usopp's like the heart of the crew. Oh, you can say Luffy. I would say it's Usopp. Really?
Yeah, no. Luffy's just the tip of the spear.
And then Vivi
Usopp's
showed up and was like, "Get the fuck out of here, Usopp! You're just comic relief right now."
Yeah, it's time for Vivi.
Yeah,
I love Vivi.
Shall we call it there? I know we're hitting.
We do gotta wrap up. We are well past our time limit. We gotta go.
But it's worth it because it's One Piece. Get the fuck back on the boat, Ivan.
I think this is where we dock our ship for a while.
No, I don't wanna.
It was you for talking about JoJo for a half hour. That's what happened. I'm like, okay, I think we've reached our limits for now.
No.
But we'll be back.
It was necessary. I was defending.
Yeah, it was really necessary to bring up
honor.
JoJo during One Piece. Yes. A typical JoJo bro mentality.
We're just all over the place, Island. We just fucking throw out anything that we think of at this time.
We sure are.
People,
But anyways,
listen. There's no goddamn schedule. We don't know what the fuck
Get
we're
off the
doing.
ship, Val. Val, I'm already walking away. Get off the ship. We'll be
No.
back.
Mind the gap as you exit our podcast safely. Rebuild of JoyCast is hosted by Ivan LeRoy and Valentine Stokes. LeRoy's written and directed works can be found on the JoyRide Entertainment YouTube channel and the soon-to-be-released original web manga, PARAMEDIC. Val's dulcet tones can be heard in many of your favorite anime and web series, such as RWBY, Death Battle, Tribe 9, Lackadaisy Cats, and more. This episode was edited by Steena Carey, with YouTube version edited by Cody Rock. Music provided by Lofi Geek. Intro and outro narration by Steena Carey. Outro music composed by Michael Pejovich. Logo and visuals designed by Ivan LeRoy. Rebuild of JoyCast is produced by JoyRide Entertainment and Rock Voice Productions LLC, and made possible thanks to Patreon donations from generous listeners like you. This month's highest tiered Patreon producers are Mr. Host, Austin, Hairo Medina, Gooner Bear, and FluffyGiggles McKoolcid. If you would like your name shouted out at the end of each podcast, an invite to our private Discord to interact with fans, cast and crew, or early access to all of our content, be sure to check out JoyRide Entertainment's Patreon. Links provided in the description. Thank you for keeping JoyRide's engine burning.